What's up guys, I'm Tom with Verus Engineering, and today we're going to be doing the install video for the hood louvers on the Veloster N. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is grab your panel popper. We're going to remove the hood insulator, and that way we'll have access to the bottom side of the hood itself. Once we're done with that, we'll put the hood down and we'll start taping off and lining up our templates to cut out the holes for the hood louvers on the top. And just like that, the hood insulator comes off. I'm gonna set this aside. Okay, so now we've got the hood insulator out. We've put the hood back down. The kit is gonna come with 2 templates that you're gonna wanna cut out. There's gonna be one for the right and one for the left side. Over here on, I guess, the driver's side, you're right? What? I don't know. Driver's side. I've already had one, I've already taped one up. I can't speak today, but this is approximately where you want it. We want them rearward of the radiator. Ultimately, you know, you can end up placing them wherever you want, in theory, as long as it's flat. But we find that this place works the best. It also kind of looks the best. Okay, so here you can see I've got the templates kind of mocked up and they're in place, measured it all out. You'll see here that we have on the template, we've marked out the holes you need for the studs on the hood louvers, and we've also marked out the center point for drilling the 1/2-inch holes so that you have a nice radiused edge on the inside of the hole. All right, so however you want to center these on the hood is up to you. There's obviously no hard point to measure off of. You know, I personally like to measure in from the corners a certain distance, and basically take that distance and make sure they're even on each side, and then take all 4 corners, well, technically 3 on these, and measure them to different points on the car. Just make sure that they're even on both sides. The next step we're gonna go to now is I'm gonna lightly center punch all the holes. What I'm gonna do is take an actual center punch, like a manual style, and I'm gonna go around to the center of each hole, which is marked out on the template, and I'm gonna give them a light tap just so that I have something for the drill bits to actually center in on and they don't walk around too much. I'll do that now, and when we come back, we'll drill the holes. All right, so with the holes punched, center punched on the top, we've got a good starting place for our drill bits. You've got 2 options here. Technically, you could take the hood off, you know, and set it on either the ground or a soft surface, not to scratch the paint, and cut the holes out yourself that way. Or you can leave it on the car, which is what we're gonna do now. And to do that, what I basically do is take just 2 2x4s, 2 blocks of wood, doesn't have to be a 2x4. We're just gonna prop the hood up a little bit so that it's not latched at all. That way it'll give us enough clearance here so that the drill bits don't come down and come into anything that's important in the engine bay. The name of the game here is cleanliness as much as you can. We don't want the metal filings to get into the hood itself. You'll have a lot of rattling and stuff like that. So we're gonna use a vacuum. When you drill the holes out, you want to try to vacuum nearly every hole if you want. It's up to you again, but that way you'll just kind of ensure that you don't have any metal filings inside of or chips inside of the hood. All right, so we're gonna start with the 1/8-inch drill bit, and we're gonna drill pilot holes for every single hole that's marked out on the template on both sides, and then we'll come back and we'll finish up the final sizing on all the holes. Okay, so with the pilot holes drilled, we're gonna go back and drill the rest of the holes out to the correct sizes, or their final sizes now, which should be 11/64 and 1/2 inch. We'll confirm that with some text in the video, either over here or over there or somewhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and then we'll come back.
One eternity later.
Okay, I've got the holes drilled out. I've got the 1/2 inch holes drilled, as well as the 11/64 holes drilled. The next step we're gonna do is we're gonna set the hood louvers on top of this and make sure all the holes line up and that the studs go into the holes with no problems, just to confirm. And then we're going to basically cut out along this line and just make a giant hole here. And then we'll be almost done. We'll have to flip the hood up after that, and then cut some of the inner structure out as well in order for some of the mounting studs to clear. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. I know this video is a lot of cutting away, but we're using a lot of noisy tools here. So I'm gonna do that now, and then we'll be back.
Later.
Okay, so what we're left with is 2 holes in your hood. And yeah. Okay, so safety first as always. We'll use, I strongly recommend using safety glasses here. Once you get something in your eye for the first time, you pretty much will never go back. Now here is kind of up to you. A lot of people like to use this cutoff wheel style to cut the hole out. I prefer like a body saw style. Totally up to you. What we're left with on the bottom side is the hole that we cut out, but what you'll notice is, this is a little difficult to get the lighting right, but you'll notice that all of the holes for the studs aren't actually showing through here. So this structure here will need to be cut out and clearanced for the nuts to be able to come down and tighten up against the stud. So now I gotta hold the light end point. So this structure here is actually an inner rib or the inner lining. We'll need to basically cut around this hole so that the nut for the hood louvers will actually sit against the outer skin and not this inner skin. Okay, so we cut away some of the skin, the inner skin that is, and now you can see all of the mounting holes are accessible. What we're gonna do is touch them up with some black touch-up paint, the raw edges, and just make sure that, you know, they're protected from the elements so that they don't rust in the future. And once that dries, we're gonna go ahead and start installing the hood vents. Now we're gonna move on to installing the actual hood vents themselves. These are really cool. They've got like a really cool gloss finish to them. So we're gonna do that, and I'll walk you through that right now. So these are a pretty precise fit. What we want to do is make sure we line up the holes. So we have the studs poking through with the hood vents installed. What we're going to do now is install the stainless steel flange nuts that we have here. They are serrated, so they'll resist backing off. Highly recommend using a 1/4 inch ratchet, and even then a smaller 1/4 inch ratchet with a 11/32 socket. Basically we're gonna bottom the nuts, and then we're gonna turn them an 1/8 quarter turn max after their bottom. If you end up over torquing them, you may start to warp the hood. We don't want that. So the serrations on the nut will actually resist the backing off. So you really just need a little extra, you know, 1/8 of a turn to get it on there. Now you might find that, you know, because the hood is kind of a little round, not all of the studs are going to be poking through enough to start a nut. So we're gonna start as many as we can, walk them in evenly, and then start the ones that are not currently poking through. All All right, so we have the hood louvers installed now. You can see they look really nice. They almost look factory. What you're looking for here is a nice, even edge. You don't want any rippling in the hood. Wanted to show you, this is what it looks like with the wicker on the front. Just like that, just a little bump. I mean, bear with me, the car is black. It's kind of hard to tell. But basically, that's what it looks like with the wicker on it. The other side has no wicker. I'm going to show you how the wicker is actually mounted. The wicker should be on the underside of the hood. So you should be sandwiching the hood with the wicker and the hood vent. All right, do not put it on the top of the hood itself when you're mounting it. All right, and that's going to do it for the install video on the Veloster N hood louvers. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to send us an email at sales@verusengineering.com. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.